Hey, it's Eddie Caulfield, the artistic director of the New Jewish Theater. First of all, I hope you're doing really well. Secondly, we had kind of this funny idea because we can't have people in the theater right now. We decided we were going to do our best to bring the New Jewish Theater experience to you. So we've come up with something called Eddie's Follies, part talk show, part variety show. I think you're going to have a great time because we all need to share a song, tell a joke, and have a laugh. We need a lot of laughter. Enjoy this episode of Eddie's Follies. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Eddie's Follies. I'm so pleased to be with you at this point. I'm pleased to be with anybody at this point. Our first guest today is Summer Baer. Summer was in our wonderful production of Brighton Beach, and she is here to perform a wonderful song for you.
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. That's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile.
Hello, Summer Baer.
Hi, how are you?
I am well. How are you? It's great to see you.
It's good to see you too. I'm good.
How's your pandemic going?
It's going good. I'm getting a lot of reading done, and that's nice.
Yeah.
Lots of books.
I didn't think I could become bored with Netflix or Hulu or any of that, and it's amazing that I'm sort of clamoring for new things to be released.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I'm
finishing things and wanting to start the next season, and it's not done yet.
What have you finished that you loved?
Well, I've been watching. Have you seen Good Omens?
Yes, I have.
Oh, I love Good Omens so much. And also, in partner with that, David Tennant has a podcast with Michael Sheen at one point. Like, yes. They do an episode together. And it was just a great culmination to watch that and then listen to his podcast.
Fantastic.
Highly recommend that.
Fantastic. So, Summer, I have known you. Well, I don't really know how long I've known you. I feel like I've known you a long time.
Yeah.
But it's been
a little over a year.
I was going to say it's been about a year. And, you have to understand, Summer is, she is a theater artist and a theater practitioner. She does a lot of different things. And I believe when we met, you were assistant stage managing for the New Jewish Theater. Is that true?
No. Well, no, I think the first time we met, I was stage managing for SATE, actually. And then I auditioned for you.
Yes, and we cast you in Brighton Beach, right?
Yes, first thing was Brighton, and then I got to assistant stage manage for you.
Well, see, I knew you had done both
it was
things. Exactly. And you, by the way, you were marvelous in Brighton Beach.
Thank you.
Marvelous. It was such a great, fun production to be involved with, I have to say.
Oh, the people were amazing. I loved being a part of that. It was such a learning experience.
Well, I hope we put together a Brighton Beach cast Zoom reunion.
We should. That would make my heart so happy.
That's probably coming up later in the fall, is my guess.
Oh my goodness.
So
I'm
were you,
gonna do it.
so you are an actress and a musician.
Mhm.
Sometimes you're a stage manager, sometimes you're a producer, sometimes you're a director. Is there something you won't do in the theater?
I can't build things. I've tried.
You know what? I
It's
can't build
not in my wheelhouse.
anything. You know, it's okay.
I so respect the people that do it though, because I know it's hard. And so kudos to technicians because you're amazing.
Yeah, I know. I can't. Well, they won't even let me near the power tools anymore. I mean, it's too many safety concerns. So I just let people that are.
I'd be the same way. It'd be like, Summer, go over there. You're fine.
Right. You're fine. Exactly. Now, what were you working on when things shut down?
Well, I had just started rehearsals for Bloomsday with West End Players Guild. So that was disappointing, especially I was gearing up to have like a full year. I was on book for Moonstone. I'm sorry, Sharon. It's Moonstone. I was ready to do stuff with Sate. I had a full year ahead, but I was in rehearsals for Bloomsday, which I was really excited to dig into that character because what a meaty play. It's just beautiful. But hopefully
it's a cool play.
We'll see. What?
It is a cool play. It's a very cool play.
Yeah. It was really interesting to like start doing all the character work, and it was really fun. I look forward to getting back to it for sure.
And is there you do all these different things? Is there something you prefer to do?
I would much rather act or direct. They make a lot of sense to me, and it's nothing against stage managing. I love it too.
Well, you're very good at that as well. But
thank you.
We can leave that to your very talented sister, Taylor.
Oh yeah, no, she's gotten it. Taylor Baer is an amazing stage manager. Everyone should hire her.
So you were born. I think I have this right. You were born in South Dakota.
I was born in South Dakota and raised in Kansas, and now
Kansas. But you came to the St. Louis area for school.
Yeah, I came to go to SIUE.
And we're very glad that you did that.
Me too. It's one of the things I'm most proud of.
I have been around the St. Louis theater community for decades, literally decades. And I'm so excited when I see somebody new who's part of our community and you just kind of dive in, and it's fantastic. I'm so honored to know you and to work with you.
I feel the same way about you. It was such a great experience working with New Jewish both times I got to, and I really look forward to doing it again.
Oh, I'm sure that is in the cards. I'm sure as soon as we can actually do a play again, that will be in the cards.
I'll be there.
Anyway, well, I can't thank you enough for being on the show. It's a huge honor to have you here, and we'll have you back.
I look forward to coming back to the show. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Our next guest is the beloved Will Bonfiglio, a new Jewish theater favorite, a St. Louis theater favorite, and one of my dear friends. And I hope you enjoy this piece by Will Bonfiglio.
Coming! Ah, here we are. Time for the final fitting.
Oh, I don't need any more fittings. I'm just here to pick up my wedding clothes. I've had enough.
Oh, it may be enough for some other bridegroom, but for Rev Alter's future son-in-law, nothing is too good. Now, do me a favor and try this on. What do you think, Zelly?
It looks wrong somehow. The shoulder's too narrow.
What can we do if his shoulders are too narrow? Put in more padding and he'll look like a scarecrow. What about the front?
It looks a little on the tight side.
It's not tight. Oh, what do you know? I've never had such trouble fitting a caftan before. How about this? We let the shoulders in and we take the chest out.
No, you're not letting anything in or taking anything out, and that's fine.
Oh, why are you such a hard customer? All I want is for you to look
likes it.
Oh, all right, I give up. Now, be so kind as to try on the pants.
The pants, they fit like a glove.
Oh, that's the problem. They're not supposed to fit like a glove. They're supposed to fit like pants. Try them on. It won't take a minute.
All right, but you have to close your eyes.
Close my eyes.
Do
Yes.
as he says, boss.
The whole town praises him for his sweet nature. Oh, but to his tailor, he's a monster.
Maybe he's a little shy.
Shy? Everyone undresses in front of his tailor. A tailor is like a doctor. Am I right, Sally?
Like a doctor.
I'm
I'm
ready.
this way, boss.
I'm ready.
The captain, please.
Oh, what do you say, Sally?
Oh, we're in trouble with the crotch.
Crotch? Oh, the crotch! Exactly! How can you say such a thing? To a master tailor, nothing is nothing. When Sheftel do a crotch, oh, that crotch is a work of art.
If you don't mind my saying so, Angel, with the fly riding that high, it'll be a little awkward when you have to take a leap.
Well, what if we just take a little out here and maybe make it droop down a
It's
little more?
fine, leave it. I like the pants the way they are, and the pants are done.
Ay, ay, ay! I'm a sugar now.
Jonathan and David in the book of Samuel, they were really close, they were best friends. They made a covenant for the rest of their lives, and their love surpassed that of their wives. Ba 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 ba. Jonathan and David in the book of Samuel, they were really close. You know what
Welcome, Will Bonfiglio.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's so great to see you. I don't know the
Likewise.
last time I actually laid eyes on you in person.
Same. I think
It was, if you came to see
January,
Asher Live, it
probably.
was probably when you came to see that.
Yeah.
So that was January. It's now September by the time this airs. And
Yeah, where did the year go? Like,
I don't know.
what?
This year's been a blink,
Yes.
but
Yes.
you look good. So
Thank you. Likewise. Like, we're
thank you.
doing the
Thank you.
best we
Thank you.
can. Like,
Well, I just live in my virtual world back here, and
I love it. I love like any theater, even if it's a virtual one. It looks
I
great.
know.
I miss it.
So you, in fact, have appeared many times at the New Jewish Theater, and most recently in Fully Committed, for which was a complete sellout and a huge hit. And I believe you also received a Circle Award for Best Actor in a Comedy.
Yeah, it was a great experience.
It was great, and we're going to talk more about that in a little bit.
Perfect.
You were also in a play called I Now Pronounce that I believe I directed.
Mhm.
Yentl, which I think I also directed. Old Wicked Songs, and Never the Sinner.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it. So I feel like I've known you for 40 years, but it probably has not. Maybe it's been 39 years.
Maybe
Although we knew
41.
each
He's
other-
counting.
I think we knew each other before you came to work at the New
Yeah,
Jersey.
I think we met when we did Moon Over Buffalo, I think, right?
For
For
God's
Insight,
sake.
which was
At
2000.
Insight, out of sight, Insight.
Insight. Hindsight 2020. But I think it was like 2015 probably. 2015.
Yeah, you were fantastic in that too.
Oh, thank you.
You
That's
seem
when-
to be
that's
able
when we
to do
fell
it
in
all:
love.
comedy, drama. You're a musician. Is there anything you won't do? Can you juggle?
I can't juggle. I can't whistle.
You can't whistle.
I can't whistle.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're never gonna play Anna in The King and I.
I know. I
She
gave up
has
that
to
dream
whistle.
years ago.
I know. I know.
What am I gonna do?
I know. Now you have had the great well, first of all, you've been a long fixtures of terrible way to put it, but a long fixture in the St. Louis theater community. And you've worked for a bunch of theaters. You've worked for New Jewish Variety, ERA, Stray Dog, Max and Louie, the Shakespeare Festival, and SATE, and there's probably more.
Yeah,
You certainly get around.
I do. I did, right? Pre-COVID. I did.
No, nobody gets around now, but that's
No.
all right. I don't know that my audience will know. I mean, they've all seen you on stage at the New Jersey Theater and other venues. They may not know that you are you are a bona fide theater artist, because you are hyphenate. You're an actor and a musician and a writer as well. And did you always have an interest in writing?
Sometimes, I mean, I think it started when I was, you always would have to find these like monologues and things for auditions, and sometimes it just like didn't, the characters didn't necessarily say what I needed them to say, or especially in like contemporary and modern work, the monologue is kind of a fixture that no longer is there, right? So it's hard to find something. It's just limited resources. So I think out of necessity, right? Like I started writing material that way, and yeah, and so it was something I was interested in. I've always loved school. I've always loved kind of like learning. So I think it's just another.
Well, you are a smart cook. You grew up in St. Louis.
I did.
And you went to I apologize, but now I just asked, which high school?
I went to Marquette High School.
Oh, Marquette. Oh, okay. And did you do theater in high school?
I did a little. I started like maybe junior year, which is really when I started doing like getting involved in theater. I had one of my good friend and didn't tell me until the day of, and I was like, I'm not one to make a bad impression by like not showing up for something. So I went, and like the rest I guess is history. So I probably owe a lot of it to her.
Is that when did you sort of, well, I'll get to that question later, but so you do just a variety of things. And in fact, I know the first time I saw something you wrote, it was the Craigslist. What was the name of that play?
The Residents of Craigslist.
The Residents of Craigslist, which and it was at ERA, and I think the work Lucy does is so interesting, and it's a departure from my comfort zone frequently. I thought that was a really cool play, and I loved what you did with it. So that's fantastic.
Thank you. We had a really great time.
Pandemic?
Not really. I've been just like reading a lot, actually. I've been taking time to like, I had this stack of books, and like this I don't know, this like charade with the library I've been having for like 2 years, where I request the same books and then like never read them and have to return them. And I'm trying to finally do it.
Right, and you're a voracious reader.
I love reading. It's just like, and it's nice to read for pleasure, when you have time. So that's just something I've been trying to do.
Walking out of a rehearsal, I think, with you, and we went to your car, and it was the biggest novel I'd ever seen in my life in your front seat. It's the sort of the size of book that I use as the doorstop. So
right.
I was very impressed.
That was one doing the library circus for a while.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I actually did read that book, and I thought, now I can't remember, but I thought it was amazing.
A Little Life, wasn't it? I think it was A Little Life. Yeah. Which is not a little book.
It's not little. No.
And it's very heavy, but it's
Have you read
beautiful.
Infinite Jest?
No, I haven't. But what's funny is I've seen it like 2 or 3 people posting it on Facebook recently, and I'm just like, what a weird coincidence. Like, why I don't know. It's just like right now getting a lot of attention.
I just checked it out from the U City Library. P.S. We love the U City Library. The book is so big, the due date is November 30th. It's also it's dense. I've only read about 16 pages, and then I have to take an Excedrin, and so I was like, we're going to do this very slowly.
You'll just have to keep renewing, right?
Exactly.
Just keep renewing.
So you went to Marquette High School, and then you went to Vanderbilt.
Yeah, correct.
And how did you like that? It's a great school, of course.
I loved it.
And a beautiful part of the world.
And Nashville was so fun then. It was like before it became the bachelorette party headquarters.
Right.
It's like it was, I don't know, it still had a very like small town feel. You could like parallel park your car on Lower Broadway. It was a different world, and I don't know. It was a great place to go to school.
Yeah. And then you've done graduate work. I think if I'm correct, you've done 2 of those at WashU.
I did, yeah, kind 1.5-ish.
Right. In
1.5.
fact,
Yeah.
you were finishing some graduate work at WashU the opening week of Fully Committed.
Yes, when it rains at
And you know
Fort
what? You
Worth,
are easygoing, and you are laid back, and I never see you sweat, quote unquote. You are a wreck.
Yes. And I think it was like I also was a wreck because I knew it was coming, like I had the syllabus for my project and like knew when it was all happening for my like presenting my, my final kind of dissertation. And for me, I don't know, I was just like, wow, this is, all happening at once. That's really interesting. And then, when it arrived, it was
Right.
like, it's like that, the dog with the it's fine and the flames everywhere.
Right.
But, it's
So-
just like tunnel vision through.
So Fully Committed, which was not a small project or feat for you and the director, and you were fantastic in the production, and you were a delight to work with. Even though I think in your heart of hearts, you actually thought it would never open.
I didn't know. It was a nail biter, that one. Like, it's a hard script.
Right. I think we would be remiss in discussing Fully Committed if I didn't introduce a friend of ours to help fill in all of the many answers and questions. And here is our dear friend,
Yeah.
Ellie Schweddy. She's going to pop up here in a minute.
Ellie.
Hi.
Hi.
How
Oh,
are
it's so
you,
good to
Ellie?
see you.
Yeah, it's so good to see you.
There she is. Ellie Schweddy.
Hi, Eddie.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Thank you for joining us. I've tried to gently introduce the topic of Fully Committed, and he teared up almost.
Did you? Oh.
I was ready to click leave the room. I'm so, he's still having flashbacks from it.
And I will just say, because people always ask me, how does a show come together? How do you decide, blah, blah, blah. I will just say, in the interest of full disclosure, I wanted to do this show, and there was never a question I was doing it with anybody but the 2 of you.
Aww.
So thank you for a perfectly wonderful production, and people still talk about it, and it's just fantastic. So what was it like?
Yeah.
What was it like directing Will Bonfiglio?
I mean, it was a lot just like our friendship, really.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think the dynamic.
If you don't know, Ellie and Will are very tight.
Yeah, the dynamic of our friendship was just the dynamic of the rehearsal room. I mean, we laughed a lot. I think we scared our assistant stage manager and stage manager a lot, but then they like came into the jokes and it was all good. Yeah, we just were like, let's try it. Like, there's only one way to find out.
Right. Well, I have to say, from my observation point, and I really tried to leave you all alone for most of the rehearsal period because I thought, well, first of all, they don't need my help. And number 2,
it was the cold winter months. Somebody had to get tucked into bed early.
Exactly. But I have to say,
We
when I
tucked
came in,
into
I
the
was
Wool
so,
Theater.
right. But it was so
tucked in somewhere else. Yeah.
because I'd been there for the first reading, and then I was away for like a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And I came back, and there was like this thing starting to emerge. And then we got to opening night, and I thought, wow. And there was the other thing that I don't know. I think Ellie is aware, but Will may not be aware. The jump you made from like the Sunday dress rehearsal to opening night was amazing.
Well, even before that, the one like big, it was maybe a designer run or just a run. Eddie, you came in and we had been trying something and it was kind of like, I think Will had been switching from like dropping every line, like the shape of the character and then like his shape for the like phone answering guy. And you were like, That's so busy. I mean, you made the best suggestion, and we like kind of made this one tweak, and it made the whole play just like really so much more solid. So yeah, I mean, even that like bit of collaboration and that like your insight, like having been away from it and stepping in, you know, to us, we'd been there so long in the thick of it, it totally made sense. But you as this like totally fresh pair of eyes came in and were like, actually try it like this. And it made the world of difference.
Right. And, you know, I have never been an artistic director and producer that feels like I need to ever step in and fix a play. I hire great people and they don't need much help. What they're happy to see is the check and a generous rehearsal period.
Yeah.
That's my whole job, really. Now you two have worked many other collaborations at your own theater state, I believe. Is that true? Well worth it,
and then as well as with Era Theater, which what is
which
your
I call
title?
ERA, which I know is wrong. Lucy, I'm sorry.
Yeah, with Lucy Cashin, who's the artistic director. Yeah,
rhymes with Scara.
Exactly.
Scara. But
in fact,
Era is where I first met Will.
The revival of Moscow, right?
Yeah.
As a Zoom project, that was kind of cool. You know, I no longer am allowed to drink, so I couldn't enjoy the drinking part of that event.
Me neither.
It was still.
But you could have. It would have been like 3 Diet Cokes. You know.
Yeah. Well,
you would have been so buzzy.
Let's see what if there's anything else I want to ask you about Fully Committed. Ellie, did you feel like you knew what you were getting into? Not with Will, but with that kind of play.
No. It was the first time I had directed a one-person play. I think so. Anyway, the scope of it made it feel like the first time if it wasn't. And yeah, I really was, I mean, I think I came into it being like, oh, it's Will, like it's fine, like we'll be fine. And I mean, we totally were fine. I don't know if I necessarily like massively changed sort of my directing style because it was a one-person play. I learned a lot on how to do. Actually, I ended up watching a lot of one-person shows,
that's smart.
NP Live and other things, and I learned a lot about like how like really successful ones are done. And then I got advice from other folks who have directed one-person plays, like you and Rachel Tibbetts and Sarah Whitney, and just sort of was like, okay, we can do this, but yeah, no idea what I was getting into.
Well, and I'm positive I've shared this with the two of you before. I've directed several. I don't know that I would do another one. If it was the right combination of people or person, the person I might. It's the most exhausting thing I've ever done. And I know I know Will, every night at rehearsal, it was a stretcher that took him home. I mean, it's a lot of work.
The ambulance was just
I don't think people realize.
I didn't put 2 and 2 together until the first weekend when I was like, wait, like, wow, this is like a lot. It was just like 3, I think there was a period where it was like 3 and 72 hours or something. And I was just like, I mean, no, I think it was like 3 and 48 hours. And I was like, wow, this is like really, that's why I'm tired.
Yeah. Well,
get the stretcher.
Because but primarily it's you and the actor. There's a stage manager usually. But there's no other place to dissipate energy.
Yeah.
And there's no other person that you can blame everything on, which, you know, that's my favorite part of the rehearsal part. You find the person that you can blame things on. And for the right amount of money, I am willing to give an alphabetical list of St. Louis actors that I've blamed things on. Some of them no longer living, but it's all right. Ellie, thank you for joining us
Thank you for having me.
And you'll be back for your own special episode.
Can I have a special
Follies.
guest?
It's going to be like, Ellie,
surprise.
I think I'm gonna zoom in your nieces and nephews.
Oh God, that's
because you know what people love? Small children.
Yeah.
Oh no, Zia.
It'll be called Eddie's Follies Oh No Zia episode.
Exactly. All right, Ellie, thanks. We will talk to you
Thanks,
soon.
guys. Have fun. Love
Bye,
you.
Allie. Love
Bye.
you.
She's a delight.
Oh, the best. I love
That was
working with
great.
her.
That was
She's great.
I'm so glad she could sneak in and surprise.
Yeah, that was fun.
Um,
I
I
haven't
only
seen her in months,
I know I haven't
so
either.
that was great.
It's crazy. These people that we spend a lot of time together when we're working, and then when that is taken away from you, it's frustrating. I have one
Yeah,
more
it's
question for
sad.
you, which
Okay.
is it's the Ring of Keys question, and this is not about the first time you realized there were lesbians, although that could be a Ring of Keys moment. This is what was your theater Ring of Key moment? Like, when did you go, this is all I can do?
Hmm. Wow, that's difficult, right? I think I don't know if there was one necessarily one moment, or if it was more of a series of events that really just aligned. But I think it was, I after once I came back to St. Louis, I was like, wow, like there's a lot of opportunity here that I just didn't realize, in terms of like smaller, more independent, more experimental kind of theater companies than the large mainstream houses. And I realized, like, wow, there's a lot of just possibility, that you can do. And there's so much support with just like the Missouri Arts Council and the Regional Arts Commission, and there's funding, so I think for me, I realized like the stage was really set in a big way here in St. Louis that I didn't necessarily recognize before. And so I started auditioning and just started really meeting people and doing work. And one of the first people I connected with here was Lucy Cashin with Era. And I think it made me just like, I don't know, recognize that, wow, like there's a lot that I can do, there's a lot of possibilities here. So I think really working with her shortly after I returned made me not only have that realization, but also I think it pivoted me in a way to think like, wow, St. Louis might be longer term than just like going home for a little bit and then doing something else. And
Right.
I mean, I think it's definitely solidified why I've stayed.
I will say, and I try not to, as I've gotten older, I've tried to learn to not to do this, which is to pigeonhole people. And there was probably a time when I would have just pigeonholed you as the funny guy, which is true, but you're so much more than that. And I've seen you do a variety of work of all kinds, and you just seem to thrive in it. And it makes you, I think that makes you a better actor when you come back to work for me again, because you've got a large bag of tricks.
Yes. No, I mean, it's true though. The first time I worked with you or with the, New Jewish Theater, was with Old Wicked Songs, directed by Tim Osell. Right. And that was anything but funny. I mean, that's a beautifully written play, and just like a really, really well-crafted drama. And so yeah, I think I've loved getting to play all these different types of roles and do all this different type of work with you at the J. So it's been great.
Well, it's a delight. It's a delight to spend time with you.
Likewise, yes.
Back to the Hanukkah special in December.
Perfect.
So there are plans happening for the Hanukkah special.
Wait. Sounds good.
Puppets.
Get out.
Anyway, I hope you have a great few weeks, and eventually we're going to lay eyes on each other in person.
Yes, I would love that. It was great seeing you.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, Eddie. Talk to you soon.
I don't know if the rest of you are as bored as I am. I'm so bored, I'm pandemically bored. Our next guest is my dear friend and colleague, a rising star at the Conservatory of Theater Arts at Webster University, Alegra Batara. hello, Alegra. How are you?
Hi, Eddie. I'm doing well. How are you?
It's good to see you. Thank you so much for being on Eddie's Follies.
Thank you for having me.
How are things going in your time off from school, about to start school again, all of that?
It's exciting. It's nice to have a bit of a break. It's looking forward to what's happening next with school, what's going to happen after graduation, starting to actually have those conversations with myself.
And
But
you will be a senior at the Webster Conservatory of Theater Arts starting very soon.
yeah, next month.
I feel like you just arrived, but that isn't true. And you've been, of course, very, very busy since you came to St. Louis. It's just so the people who are watching know you've worked for the Shakespeare Festival of St. Louis and the Repertory Theater's Ignite series, and a really cool new musical about Frida Kahlo. And Great River Shakespeare Festival, one of our favorite companies in the country. And I saw your marvelous performance of Festi last November. I thought it was just great. In fact, I happened to be in the theater visiting my friend Jason Spelbring, who directed it, when you were trying to set the lights and sounds for that opening moment. And I was so impressed by your level of concentration and consistency. It was amazing.
Thank you so much.
Now, had you always loved Shakespeare?
Actually, no. Throughout all of middle school and high school, I couldn't stand Shakespeare. And I think part of that is Shakespeare isn't meant to be read. It's meant to be performed and spoken. And I think that's just how it goes with Shakespeare in schools a lot of the time.
Right.
But once I got to Webster, one of the first things I saw at the Repertory Theater of St. Louis was Hamlet. And it was the first time I ever watched a Shakespeare show and understood what was going on.
Right.
And was just like deeply invested in it. And I was really excited to learn more. And of course, we started doing actual Shakespeare training at the end of my sophomore year, and I was completely hooked. And then I spent the summer in Winona with Great River Shakespeare Festival, and
Is one of the great Shakespeare companies in the U.S. I mean, they're just amazing. I just love them.
absolutely. But yeah, now I've got the Shakespeare bug, and it's definitely what I want to spend a lot of my career doing.
Right, and I know enough that we don't. I'm old, so in the old days, we used to pigeonhole actors, and we don't do that anymore. But I would have said, if I didn't know better, I would have said you were a musical theater girl. Which is this also true, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's where I really got my start. My mom started taking me to see musicals when I was 4 years old. She took me to see the National Tour of Beauty and the Beast, and that was the beginning of the end.
So this is your mother's fault, is what I'm hearing.
Absolutely. I mean, she's always loved shows, so she started taking me to see shows. My grandma loves Rodgers and Hammerstein, and so for her birthday one year, we got her the DVD box set of all of the movies. So when I was little, whenever I'd stay over at her house, we would watch those. So I can quote South Pacific and Oklahoma like nobody's business.
And do you have a favorite musical? I know that's an impossible question.
Ooh, I think my favorite musical is probably Ragtime.
Oh, that's a fantastic musical. And is there a musical theater role you're dying to play?
Oh goodness. Ooh. Well, it's such a hard question. I always think I have an answer in my back pocket, but I don't. I'd love to play any of the wives in Six, the musical. That would be an amazing thing. Yeah.
And how about Shakespeare roles?
Ooh.
With Ginger not as a caveat.
Ooh, I do love that. Probably Imogen and Cymbeline is one of my dream roles.
That's good. It's a tough play though. That's a very hard play.
Very tough play. It was one of the ones that Great River did last summer. I wasn't understudy for it, but I got to see it several times, and the language is just so fascinating. It is slightly different than some of his other plays, and the epic scope of it, and the agency that Imogen is allowed throughout the entire thing is just fascinating and wonderful to me.
Right. So look, you are heading into what I'm sure will be a colossal career, but you are also arriving at that point as there has been a tremendous shift in artists of color and specifically BIPOC. And you're very involved on that issue, and I love that, and you've been very helpful to this old white guy to help me understand. But do you want to talk a little bit about what you and Michael Tran are doing with the collective?
Yeah. Well, the Artists of Color Collective started as kind of a support group for the BIPOC at Webster Conservatory about 2 years ago now. And it slowly turned into, okay, well, once a year we're going to do what we call the Color Cabaret, which is just a night to celebrate the work of BIPOC artists.
It's so good. Go find it on Facebook. It's so good.
Yeah, thank you. We've been able to do it 2 years in a row. We're about to start planning year 3. We're hoping to actually do this closer to the beginning of the school year. But yeah, the more that we've been able to come together as a community, the more we've been able to identify problems and really kind of come together as a unified voice for what we need as students of color in the theater industry and at Webster specifically. And Gad Guterman and Paul Steger have been wonderful in speaking with us about the things that we're asking for, things that we need, and keeping the conversation super open. And really what the AOCC is asking for is asking for that listening and the openness to learn and really make sure that it is a safe and accepting place for everybody. And we all have a lot of hope for it now.
It is awesome, and I love that you guys are doing it. I'm proud of you, and keep on doing that very important work. I hope you have a great final year at school. I'm sure I'll be seeing you regularly. And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you being on Eddie's Follies.
Thank you so much for having me, Eddie.
You bet. Take care. Oh my goodness, that was so much fun. I really hope you enjoyed that episode of Eddie's Follies. You know, because we can't be together now, this is an easy way for us to be together virtually, which I think is great fun. And, you know, we miss having you and we miss seeing you, and we're going to see you soon. And I hope in the meantime, you will consider supporting the New Jewish Theater at this time. But most importantly, let me know what you think of the show, and I look forward to seeing you at the next episode of Eddie's Follies.